So when the Japanese immigrated to America, their culture, music, and food had influenced and contributed to our society. Let's talk about that. Of course, their native language is Japanese. The earliest Japanese text is called Kojiki that was written in the early 8th century. It was written primarily in ancient Chinese characters. In modern Japanese, it consists of kanji, that is logographic Chinese characters, hiragana, a phonetic Japanese alphabet, and katakana, a phonetic alphabet used for foreign words. Katakana is used to illustrate the Western cultures, ideas, and words. Though some white Americans often cannot tell the differences between Asians from their physical appearance, that is pretty unfortunate, but one of the most obvious difference between the Chinese and the Japanese experience is the degree of assimilation. Japanese had been influenced by the West and arrived somewhat more assimilated than their Chinese counterparts. For religion, Japanese people practice either Shinto or Buddhism. Shinto is as old as the Japanese culture, while Buddhism was imported from the mainland in the 6th century. However, religion doesn't play a big role in most of the Japanese people today. The term cosplay was coined in Japan in 1984. Japan didn't develop cosplay in isolation, but fan cultures in the United States developed other elements that it merged with Japanese to what we may know today as cosplay. Japanese fashion revolutionized global fashion, including American fashion. The style V-necks came from kimonos. Japanese fashion designers used Japanese aesthetics, concepts, asymmetry, imperfection, wabi-sabi, kimono, layering, and black-colored clothing. Japanese street fashion continuously influenced American fashion today. Black-colored clothing is something very traditional in Japan and was made popular in America and a worldwide fashion standard. Japan made a huge impact on popular music in America and around the world through its electronic music and video game music. This genre of music started by three men who goes by the names of Harumi Hosono, Yukihiro Takahashi, and Ryuichi Sakamoto to form an electronic music band called Yellow Magic Orchestra. They also did video game music too, and if you're old enough, you'll probably remember the Sony Walkman that revolutionized the music industry, made by Sony, a Japanese company. Japanese food is very common in the US, some of them being sushi, sashimi, matcha green tea, edamame, shabu shabu, udon and soba, ramen, teriyaki, wasabi, sukiyaki, and lots more. The most common food that you all might know is instant ramen. For technology, car companies like Toyota and Honda established factories in America and influenced American car models like Ford, GMC, and Cadillac. In the entertainment and arts, anime influenced American animations. You guys have probably heard of Pokemon, especially Pikachu, Hello Kitty, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Naruto, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh!, the original Ghost in the Shell, and Doraemon. Many of these Japanese animated shows and characters is well known in America and around the world. Some of the Japanese culture had seeped into the Star Wars franchise, like the helmet of Darth Vader, similar to the samurai helmet, and Yoda from Star Wars, that's also a family name, in Japan. You guys probably played some games at some point of your life. Well, Japan had brought some games over to America and it became big. Some of the well-known games that Japan developed are Super Mario Bros., Pac-Man, Resident Evil, and the Final Fantasy series. Not to mention the PlayStation series and the Nintendo console and handheld devices that are from Nintendo are developed by Japan. In general, some games, movies, and shows are influenced by the Japanese. John Lasseter, who was the animator, screenwriter, film director, and film producer of Toy Story, Bugs Life, Cars, etc., was greatly influenced by Hayao Miyazaki, who was also an animator, a screenwriter, film director, and a film producer, and also a manga artist.